Okay, this is my presentation on collections and self-censorship. My table of contents will talk about collection policies, what are the essentials in having a collection policy. Then we'll talk about self-censorship, why is it important to be aware of your own biases. And lastly, the article Children's Collection Development, Good Books or Books Kids Like. So collection policy is first. An essential one I chose was assessing the needs of the school's curriculum and other programs. When creating a collection policy, it is important to know the needs of the teachers in the building. If the third grade is having a unit on space, it is important to have books available for them at checkout. The librarian needs to be aware of what the grades are learning in the classrooms. Essential 2, identifying criteria for selection of materials. When selecting new material, it's helpful to have a guide when making their selections. This will help to speed up the process and allow for more books to be selected. Essential 3, maintaining and preserving the collection. Librarians must be able to maintain and preserve the library collection so that all books can remain available for students to check out. If a book becomes unavailable due to injury, it is the job of the librarian to have a policy in place to fix or replace the book if needed. Next, we'll talk about self-censorship. My article I found is called They're So Stinking Popular, How Could You Say No? Graphic Novel Collection Development and School Librarian Self-Censorship. Graphic novels are often the topic of discussion among teachers as they discuss whether they like them or not. Students love graphic novels, however, they receive mixed reviews amongst adults. In the article, the authors Moeller and Becknell discuss how teachers are less than enthusiastic about graphic novels because they do not know how to use them in their instruction. To collect their data, 20 librarians were interviewed about their collection methods regarding graphic novels. Many of the librarians admitted that they put the graphic novel books in a specific section and will limit them to certain ages. Due to certain books discussing mature themes, libraries will limit their checkout to older grades, even sometimes requiring a note from a parent to check out the books. Librarians admitted to being more hesitant to purchase graphic novels as they learn more about the information being presented in the books compared to a traditional book that maybe is discussing the same thing. Self-censorship. The problem with self-censorship is that it interferes with the students' intellectual freedom rights granted to them by the Supreme Court case, Board of Education versus Pico in 1982. This case declared that the library is a different space than the classroom and therefore follows different procedures. The American Association of School Librarians' own professional standards affirm this by noting that the school librarian's role in maintaining a quality selection of curated resources in a variety of formats is essential. And that's from the American Association of School Librarians and Moeller and Becknell. It is important to be aware of your own biases because the library is a place for readers to learn about whatever they want to, not what you think is appropriate for them. What did I learn from the article? I learned that librarians are having difficulties finding professional reviews that are available for graphic novels. Due to this lack of resources, librarians are having difficulties finding quality graphic novels for their libraries. And last, we're going to talk about the Children's Collection Development article. What did I learn from this article? I learned that good books are the books that children like. In order to get children to read, they have to be interested. If, in order to get a children to read, you have to listen to Dora or Bluey, then it will be worth it because your child is excited about reading. I think that the connection between television and reading is huge. As a kindergarten teacher, my students love watching Bluey. Twice a year when the book fair comes around, my students choose the books that have characters on the covers that they recognize. When curating your library, it is important to think about what the kids will be excited to read and not about what you think is the best because it has won awards. Yes, books that have won awards are amazing and they do deserve to be recognized, but they're not always the books that the kids are wanting to read. And here are my citations for the 3 resources I used.